Trump agreed to support European peacekeepers in Ukraine. Lifting sanctions against Russia is off the table for now, and why US Department of State compiles list of additional exceptions for Ukraine regarding foreign aid freezes. The latest news next. US President Donald Trump, speaking to the press at the White House on Tuesday, the 25th of February, said that there is currently no talk of lifting sanctions against Russia, but admitted that it could be possible in the future, reported by European Pravda with reference to a broadcast of the press conference. About details, Trump was asked whether he was considering lifting sanctions against Russia as part of the negotiation process to resolve the war.
No, we haven't lifted any sanctions on anybody. I guess it will be at some point, but right now, we haven't agreed to lift sanctions on anybody.
French Finance Minister Eric Lombard expects the United States to support European troops in maintaining peace in Ukraine after a ceasefire agreement is reached, reported by French Finance Minister Eric Lombard in an interview with Bloomberg Television. The UK, Germany, France and other European countries are ready to send troops to guarantee the ceasefire, Lombard said in Cape Town, where he is attending a meeting of G20 finance ministers. Quote, "We want this ceasefire to be guaranteed by European countries with American backup. On that, President Trump said he would agree. If we want a ceasefire to be respected, we need US backup. I believe the Americans have agreed to do that." About details, earlier this week, Lombard and French President Emmanuel Macron visited Washington to discuss Ukraine and trade with their US counterparts, President Donald Trump and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Lombard is attending a meeting of finance ministers from leading countries, despite the fact that the US and Argentina decided to skip the event after Trump publicly argued with his South African counterpart Cyril Ramaphosa over national land laws, equality policies, and the war in the Gaza Strip. French officials said that Lombard aims to reaffirm his country's commitment to multilateralism and demonstrate European unity amid Trump's attack on the world order. Politico citing sources and the relevant document has reported that senior officials at the US Department of State are compiling a list of additional exceptions for Ukraine from the freezing of foreign aid, which could provide the country with access to certain economic and security assistance that is currently suspended, reported by Politico. About details, Politico, using information from a State Department official to other individuals familiar with the plans and the relevant document, learned that these exceptions go beyond those allowed by US Secretary of State Marco Rubio worldwide for life-saving aid to fund programs such as demining and drug control if they are approved. In practical terms, there is no certainty that the additional assistance will reach Kyiv even with the new exceptions in place. However, politically, the efforts to expand exceptions for Ukraine hint at divisions within the Trump administration on how to deal with Kyiv. In response to Politico's inquiry, the Department of State sidestepped the question of whether new exceptions for Ukraine had been granted, stating in its statement that programs that serve our nation's interest will continue. However, programs that aren't aligned with our national interest will not. Plans for exceptions date back to at least the end of January, just days after the Trump administration imposed a broad suspension of foreign aid. The proposed exceptions related to programs ranging from general economic support to landmine clearance, drug control and health sector programs.
These internal discussions took place as recently as last week, as stated by a State Department representative and internal communications between bureau staff. The proposed exceptions also involve accounts that control funding for support of democratic institutions and civil society in Ukraine, referred to as transitional period internal initiatives, and so-called assistance to Europe, Eurasia, and Central Asia, or AEECA funds.
The document says exceptions will not be allowed for programs that promote diversity, equity and inclusion, or DEI. Yuri Kim, U.S. Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for Europe and Eurasian Affairs, has been tasked with compiling a list of department, bureau and office programs related to Ukraine as part of the effort to expand exceptions, the State Department representative reported. North Korea may increase arms supplies to Russia, with some weapons being transported by a special vessel across the sea, according to the reports from the Institute for the Study of War. North Korea is expected to increase arms supplies to Russia, with some weapons being transported via a special vessel. On February 25th, a delegation from North Korea's Workers' Party arrived in Moscow at the invitation of Russia's ruling United Russia Party. The visit comes amid reports that Pyongyang may boost arms shipments to Russia. According to the Russian embassy in North Korea, the delegations will discuss expanding cooperation between the two parties in line with the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership Treaty signed in December 2024. Maritime arms shipments on February 24th, South Korean media outlet Korea Jong-ang Daily reported that commercial satellite images from Planet Labs PBC show a 110-meter vessel entering and leaving North Korea's Rason port near the border with China and Russia. Satellite images reveal a 100-meter long line of containers on the dock next to the docked ship. The vessel was positioned at the inner pier on February 20th before moving to the outer pier on February 21st, indicating cargo unloading and reloading before departure. According to ISW, North Korea likely used the Rason port to transport ammunition to Vladivostok in November 2023. That's all for today. Thanks for watching this video. Like and subscribe.